Hey weirdos, so today I'm going to be doing a little vlog thing and I will be vlogging my experience reading for the Contemporary Readathon. So today is the 21st. Yeah, so it's a little, we're into the readathon and I haven't started any books yet. Well, that's not exactly true. So I have my books here, the ones that I have the physical copies of. That is the 1,000 Splendid Suns, The Curious Case of the Dog in the Nighttime, Speak, and then I will also be reading Simon versus the Homo Sapien Agenda, Red, White, and Royal Blue, and The Sun is Also a Star. So those are the 6 books that I am targeting to get into this week. But I also have lots of other stuff that I have to do for things. So today I'm going to be starting Red, White, and Royal Blue because that is the longest one. So I figure if I read about 45 minutes to an hour of that a day, then switch to something else, I will get it done. So today is day 1. So my plan for today, oh, plus we also got a little visitor person. I don't know how often Lissy's going to appear. She's probably going to stay with me a bunch, but she might be invisible. So today I have a couple of things I have to do today. I want to start working on making some masks, and I will be vlogging. I'll be making the masks as I'm reading. So I might include a little creating a mask tutorial. I'm not really sure. Second is I have to work on my online course that I'm doing right now, which is my TEFL course. So I will be working on that as well. So I'll probably be switching between the two. Anyway, so let's get started. I've set up my sewing machine and I'm going to get started on making my masks. I have a bunch of pre-cut fabric that I'm going to be working with. So this is the fabric that I'm going to be making the first mask. I normally don't make them one at a time. You'll see that a little bit later. First thing we have to do is actually thread the bobbin. So I've chosen pink thread because this is pink and a lot of the other fabric that I'm going to be working with is pink. Let's use an empty bobbin for this one. That's really easy. There we go. I have the bobbin threaded. It's all there. So we can put this in this thing. I don't really know what it's called. Now we actually have to thread the sewing machine. It's not that hard. It's basic, like most sewing machines get threaded. This sewing machine was actually given to me by one of my friends who is a very talented seamstress. Her work is put in museums, which is pretty amazing. I've known her for almost my entire life. She was moving and downsizing, so she gave me one of her old sewing machines, and this sewing machine is a Viking. It's kind of an old model, but it still works perfectly fine. I would not call myself a seamstress. I am mostly self-taught on my sewing skills, through the internet or just through other people. I did take a sewing class in middle school, but everything I learned there, I'd basically already known from either my mom or the internet. So if you guys want a more in-depth tutorial on how to make a mask, let me know and I'll do that. I have to pull the bobbin thread through so we can actually get started sewing. So I'm about an hour and 30 minutes. Red, White, and Royal Blue, the audiobook, and I'm on 2 times speed, so it's taking less time then. I'm kind of apathetic to it so far. I'm not super in love with either of the main characters. The president's son, whatever his name is kind of an ass right now. I think he's just very full of himself. He has good intentions and it's just very judgmental. And I don't think we know really a lot about the prince yet. They've just started their having to work together. So first thing you want to do is take your 2 scraps of fabric. This is, I'm not sure, I think usually you do 6 inches by 7 inches or 8 inches. Not really sure how long this is. That's usually a general rule, 6 by 8 or 6 by 9 or 7 by 8, 7 by 9. Really just cut a rectangle of fabric, put the parts you want on the outside facing each other so that when we flip the side out, it will look the way you want it. Some people tend to pin it down. I don't usually do a lot of pinning. I do the pinning when I'm pleating though. First steps you want to do is sew along this side. We're going to sew along the long side. So we're going to sew along this side, and then for the bottom side, you're going to sew along and leave about a 2-inch gap. I just kind of ballpark it. It doesn't really matter where the gap is. You just want a gap so that you can flip it inside out. Margins don't really matter. Very simple. And now we're going to do the gap. I'm just going to stop and cut at arbitrary point in time. And that looks about good. So I'm going to cut there and then just scoot it up a little bit. There you go. And the next bit is going to be a little bit more complicated. The next step is a little bit more complicated, and that is you have to cut and attach the elastic. Usually I like to do about 7 inches, 7.5, 6.5. It doesn't really matter for these. I'm going to do 7 inches, and you need 2 7-inch elastic pieces for the masks. To go around the ears. Obviously you can do the whole how it attaches to your head differently. You can take strips of fabric and braid them or weave them together and then sew them onto the masks. If you don't have any elastic, you can really get really creative with how you want to attach the mask to your face. So you're going to want to put the elastic inside the mask like this and attach it on the inside. And I like to squish it up right to where the seam is, and then take a pin and stick it through the elastic twice so that it secures that handle hold on the elastic, and do the same with the other side. And be very careful to make sure that you don't twist the elastic at all. You want to make sure that when you flip it out, it'll go around the ear really nicely and it won't be twisted. And do the exact same on the other side, again, nestling right up to the seam. You want to do that with the opposite side with your other bit of elastic. The reason I am making these masks, I'm going to be going to school in the fall. That is what the school decided. So I've decided that I'm going to make 14 masks to take to school for myself to protect myself. I'm going to be making more than 14 masks today. The other masks that I make, I will be selling them to a company. They've already contracted me to make masks for them. I do have to find more fabric to make masks for them. Now, once you have the elastic pinned down, we're gonna take our sewing machine and go right over those elastic bits. I like to turn the fabric around and go over the elastic twice or 3 times because it will really secure that elastic and make sure that elastic won't fall off. There we go. Make sure you don't run over the pins. So right there, I've just run over the elastic, and I'm going to turn this around and go over it again. Same. So now going back to the elastic. And boom, we're done with that side. Now we're going to flip over and do the other side to secure that elastic. Plug in the fabric. Okay. And there you go. Now the mask is sewn in. That's where this hole is going to be very important. So we're going to turn out the hole and turn the mask inside out. And there you go. You have the basic mask. And now we need to put the pleats in. And the pleats are, I think, fairly easy to put in. You just kind of fold over the fabric. I do some slight tweaking to make sure you get 3 pleats. I like to put 3 pleats in. So you fold the fabric like this. And we're actually almost done. The pleating is like the last step in this. So I have 1 pleat in, and now I'm going to put in the other 2. And there you go. I've put in the pleats. It looks kind of chunky now, but it's not. I'm not finished with it. There's a couple more steps. This is probably the hardest step because you have to like configure the pleats in. So now it's a simple step. I just sew around in a rectangle. I like to try and go as close as I can around the edges. If you don't make it as close as you can to the edges, it doesn't really matter as long as you aren't sewing down the actual pleats. I don't it's fine. Sometimes I like to do a little bit of readjusting just to make sure the pleats are straight. And it's not a deal if they aren't super straight. One thing you could do before sewing it down is go and press it on the machine. there you go. That is basically all that goes into making a mask, other than pressing, which the very last bit of making a mask is pressing or ironing. I just like to press down, and then I take the iron, and it's been heating up for a while, and just get the pleats nice and ironed. Fold it over just so they get nice and straight. There you go. They're nice and flat, and they look really good, I think. These masks you can reuse. You can put them in the wash. It's very easy. Sometimes when you put it in the wash, the pleats will be less flat and you can just re-iron them. And this is what it looks like when you actually put it on. I about 2 hours into red, white, and royal blue, and I kind of feel the same way that I felt like 15 minutes ago when I was reading it. I feel like we are getting to learn the characters a little bit more. Don't think I really like the female president just because they made her. It's a little bit unrealistic. It is the, what day is it? Like the next day of the Summer of Contemporary Readathon, and I've made more progress in red, white, and royal blue. I think I have about 4.5 more hours left in the audiobook, so that's exciting. I've gotten a lot more into it. I think there are still some like places where you have to suspend their disbelief, especially when I realize that it takes place in 2020. Oh god, if only that was the reality of 2020 instead of this hellhole we live in. Oh well, but I made progress on my masks. I've sewn, all of these have the long edges, this side and this side sewn, so that's exciting. And all of these have one edge sewn, and these have nothing sewn yet. Also, I'm very excited. I got a bunch more material to work with for masks, so that's exciting. I'm very excited. Well, I'm going to continue sewing and listening. I finished red, white, and royal blue. I thought it was really cute, although I will say there are some like suspension of disbelief things. Why the frick are they using email? I get why they're shoehorning in like that jab, but make good progress. These all have one earband sewn in, well, and then I wanted to tell you a quick story because these have one earband pinned in, and these I have yet to do an earband for. And I don't really think I'm going to be reading anymore for the readathon today, because I've got some other readings that I have to do for my classes and for other books. So I think I'm going to end it here for today. I don't know what book I'm going to read for tomorrow though. So it is the 24th today, and it's actually quite late, and I just wanted to give you a quick update. I'm over here working on not homework, but just sort of wrapping stuff up that happened last semester. And that's really all I've been doing today. I've been waiting on getting some more thread and stuff from fabric stores because I ran out of thread yesterday, so I didn't really get any sewing done. But I started The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime by Mark Haddon. I'm really liking it so far. This boy, I know this boy. This is someone I know in my real life. And it's cute, and I like it a lot. I'm only a little bit in. So it is the end of the day today. Was it the 24th? And I finished the Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime, and I really enjoyed it. It deals with things that aren't sometimes easy to digest, but it really felt like I understood the main character, and it was so interesting to see his thought processes and how he dealt with some more challenging things. I don't think I'm going to start anything else today. Tomorrow, I don't know what I'm going to start. I think what I might start doing is reading like a chapter or so of this a day. I'm just not going to get my hands on the audiobook by the time it's done. We're just going to get through as much of this as we can. Today is actually the 28th, and I didn't vlog yesterday or the day before. The day before, on the 26th, was because I didn't read anything, and the 27th is because I just forgot to, / it was late, and then I realized I had to do a bunch of work for TEFL. But I did start Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda. I'm almost done with that. I think I have like an hour or so left of the audiobook, so not that much. I will say one thing. It's a nitpick, I know. But why the fuck are they using email? I don't get it. It just seems so weird, especially because this is supposed to be set like today. Like, why are we using email? Anyway, but I don't know. It's cute, but it's also just like, I am past the point of like wanting to read about high school romances, so I don't really care. I also started 1,000 Splendid Suns. I'm only like a couple chapters into that. I'm reading that like every day, like before I go to bed, to try and help me fall asleep. Today's the 29th, and it has been really hot and sweaty today, so that's super fun. But anyway, I am going to be continuing working on masks, and today I actually finished Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda. I had about like 5 minutes or so left, and that was cute. It was fine, relatively harmless. It wasn't really my thing. So today I'm going to be starting Speak. I'm really excited about that. I have it right here underneath all of my masks that are ready to be pinned and sewn. So I've been working on those more while reading other things. So I've made a bunch. These are kind of all the finished masks that I've made. And I have a bunch that are pre-pinned, and I'm going to be pinning some more. I can only pin 8 at a time because of the amount of pins I have. So I'm going to be doing some more pinning. So it is June 30th, and I wanted to give you a little bit of an update. I'm here because I was filming a different video, which will be out by the time you see this. And I wanted to just give you a little bit of an update of how my Summer of Contemporary Reading is going. I haven't made any more progress in 1,000 Splendid Suns because I've been really exhausted the past couple of days, and I've just been falling asleep. And then Speak, I am a little less than halfway through. I should finish that tomorrow. I'm hoping. But one thing I have noticed as I've been reading that book is that I think it would have been better going in with less information. Like, there's going to be a big reveal, I know, over what happened to her and why she acts like this. And that reveal has been spoiled for me. As I'm reading it right now, I kind of wish it hadn't been. I do know one thing that I'm really excited to do once I finish reading the book is watch this interview that Chris Stuckman, who is not a booktuber, he does movies, but they made a movie out of Speak, and he did a review of it way back in the beginning of the pandemic. And he also got an opportunity to interview the director of the movie. And I'm really interested in watching that video now, and I think it would be really interesting to watch once I finish it. And that's really it. That's my update for today. I've finished reading Speak. Sorry if this is a little bit shaky. I am using my hand instead of my tripod because it's upstairs and I'm being very lazy. I finished Speak today, just like I thought I would, and it was so good. Oh my god, I think this is a book that so many people need to read. I'm so happy to learn that this is required reading in some schools, because I think it is. It can be very hard to talk about sexual violence that happen against women, and I think it's so important for women to read, to know like they're not alone, but also very important for men to read, especially young boys. There's an interview at the end of the book where it says that young men are inundated with all of these like images about sex and blah 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 and how it's a good thing, and so sometimes young men don't understand that women don't really want to have it all the time, and women are viewed kind of more as objects because of the messaging that we get. This is just a really good book to combat that. I thought it was really good, and I also watched the Chris Stuckman video that he did with the director of the movie, and I would highly recommend that. That's got some really interesting takes on the book and the movie. Oh my god, my dad's home. It is June 1st, by the way. Sorry about the interruption. My dad came home and I talked to him for a bit. I've made lots of masks. They're technically not done yet because I need to iron them, but I've made lots of them. I can make it rain with masks. I've been very busy today. I finished Speak and I was reading this other book that I have to read. I've been neglecting my TEFL homework. a lot of that to do tomorrow. Well, I think I'm gonna go to bed, and tomorrow I'm going to start The Sun Is Also a Star. I hate to say it, but I do not think I'm gonna get 1,000 Splendid Suns done. I'm just really busy, and I've got a bunch of stuff that I gotta do and other books that I gotta read. I'll get through it eventually. It is June 2nd. I have started The Sun Is Also a Star, which is the 5th book that I have to be reading for this readathon. I've made some progress in 1,000 Splendid Suns, but I do not know if that is gonna happen. I'm really enjoying The Sun Is Also a Star. Also, I have just like these many more masks to do out of the pre-made ones. And I've got a bunch that are pre-cut that I still have to do. Great progress on that. So Sun Is Also a Star. I think it's adorable so far. I do know that it happens all in one day, so I do think that that is a tad bit unrealistic. So that takes me out of it a little bit. But you know what? I think both of the main characters are just so adorable that it kind of makes up for it. I don't know how to feel about omniscient narrator that goes into like all of these other like side stories. I hope that ties into like the bigger story overall later on. I'm liking it. I'm so glad that Tar chose this. So today is the 3rd, and I'm still working through The Sun Is Also a Star. I'm making pretty good progress. My goal is to leave about like an hour of the audiobook left to read tomorrow, because tomorrow is like supposed to have everything like read, and we also have the live stream tomorrow. 1,000 Splendid Suns just did not happen, but I got most of the other ones done. Hey weirdos, today is the last day of the Summer of Contemporary Readathon. It's been super fun. I've had a really fun time, so I'll just kind of quickly like wrap up kind of like what happened. And like today I spent about like an hour finishing The Sun Is Also a Star, and I really liked that. I thought it was cute. The whole time I was kind of thinking like, why don't they just get married? That can solve all of their problems. And I actually went on a bit of a deep dive into all the legalities for things. So like immigration and how you would immigrate through marriage and how that all would work in the United States, because I'm not too familiar with that at all. It turns out you have to be at least 18, and both characters are 17, so that would not be an out. So I'm very interested to see what happens like in the movie, because I heard in the movie they aged them up, so maybe that's a way out. Although on our live stream, we kind of discuss spoilers for the movie, and that they don't go that direction, which I think is good. I liked the little ending at the end where I kind of leave it open. I do think that the author has a bit of a Debbie Downer view on long distance relationships, and I don't know her personal experience with that at all, but I have personal experience with that, and I don't like the Debbie Downer attitude. Don't get me wrong, long distance relationships suck ass. You don't have to be all doom and gloom about it. I did not get to finish 1,000 Splendid Suns. Unfortunately, I got about 7 chapters in, but I will be continuing this. I do want to finish it. I don't know how long it's going to take me. Hopefully I can finish it by the end of July. It's interesting. I don't really know where it's going, so I kind of like having that mystery aspect into that. So otherwise, I was successful. I read 5 of the 6 books that I wanted to read. My favorite ones would probably have to either be, well, it's probably this guy, The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime, and then I also really liked Red, White, and Royal Blue, but at the same time, Speak was also really good. I don't know, I have a hard time picking out a favorite, and I'm not going to show you Speak because that's all the way up there in my red pile. The only one that I didn't like as much was Simon versus the Homo Sapien Agenda. I just, again, think that it's very high school story, and I'm not interested in reading any more high school stories. I'm done with that part of my life, and I kind of don't want to go back. So yeah, that's about it for me for this blog. Oh, I guess I'm obligated to say Happy Independence Day. Today is American Independence Day, and I'm an American, so Happy Independence Day. That today was boring. We didn't do anything. It was very sad Independence Day. I was gonna go see a baseball game. Socially distanced baseball game, but it was canceled. Yeah, that's it. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts. Did you participate in this readathon? Yeah. Okay. Bye.